Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm live from a different location today in the house. My youngest got COVID, so he took over the basement. So I moved my stuff upstairs. I'm actually kind of liking it. I've always thought about turning this room into a craft room, so it's a good test for me. Anyways, enough about me. Stamping A to Z, if you're new, it's a series that I started where I walk you through all the different products for Stampin' Up! And how to use them, different techniques to use them. So today we're going to have some fun. I decided to use the Calming Camellia, which is it's a host set that's out of the Celebration catalog. So the only way you can get your hands on it is to earn it, or not really earn it, but if you have a personal order of $375 or more, you can get your hands on it for free. You can host a party, which is a great time to have a party because it is Celebration, so people get extra free stuff till the end of February. Stampin' Up! Also just released this fabulous kit. I have some pictures here. So it just got released today. It's a 12 by 12 magnet board, and it has everything in the kit that you need to make it look like that. So it's got all the papers, stickers. I don't believe there's any stamping. Hang on. Each kit includes 1 sentiment sticker sheet, magnet board, double-sided cards, double-sided paper, 6 magnet clips, 2 pocket envelopes, yeah, so there's no stamping to do, but it's a really fun, it looks like a really fun project. So all of Stampin' Up's kits are only while supplies last, and I have a feeling this one's going to sell super fast. So I was going to actually put out there, I'm going to do a put together kit, not necessarily a class, but I'll have a day where we can all kit together. So if you want to purchase this, I'm going to put my order in today to make sure I get one. So if you want to put your order in, and if you live in Edmonton and you want to do a porch pickup and save on shipping, because it is $34, normally, unless you spend over $100, it's not really worth shipping to your house, but that's totally an option. Anywhere in Canada, you can ship to yourself. But if you want to ship to me and do a porch pickup, we can do that to save the shipping. So anyways, make sure you check that out on my shop. So, and you'll see my information as I turn the camera around. The other thing, so not only am I showing you this maybe inaccessible stamp set if you don't want to earn your way to that one, but you can use the techniques that I'm showing you today with any stamp set, really. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have that stamp set, I can't do what she's doing, because you can totally take the ideas that I'm going to show you today, and you can translate it to whatever stamp set you do have. I just wanted to showcase this stamp set because I just got it and I didn't realize how pretty it was. It didn't really look like a whole lot in the catalog. So anyways, let's turn you around. Do the fun turn around here. I just realized I forgot to make sure my volume was up as usual. For those of you that watch regularly, it seems to be a regular forget for me. Okay, so here's my information. If you go on my store, lindagibbs.stampinup.net, use host code. Actually, no, don't use host code. If you're wanting me to ship it here, just send me a message and let me know, and we'll get it ordered. Okay. So here's the stamp set we're using. I'll show you the real live version. If you don't have a catalog yet, please let me know. We can get one to you. I just want to find myself here. So hopefully I can see comments. Hopefully I won't freeze up my Wi-Fi, and this room isn't great. So we will have to see if it's gonna work out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We're hoping it works. Okay, so here's the actual stamp set. It is a cling set. So that means it's red rubber, not clear. The stamp doesn't look like much when you see it, but oh my God, it stamps so pretty no matter how you use it. So yeah, the first one I'm going to show you is I wanted to incorporate, so I talked about this last week. This Altogether collection was released last week and is still available. And the part I wanted to really showcase are these natural tone stamping blends that they've come out with. So these are 10 new colors. So normally our colors come in the same color with a light and a dark. These are 10 colors. They come in packs of 2, but they're actually 10 separate colors. So I haven't finished, but I started doing the color chart so you could see these are the 10 different colors. So you've got like skin tone galore, you've got just a ton of natural tone blends. So I wanted to showcase those in one of my projects today. So I'm going to start with taking, so you'll see these ones don't have color names. They're just numbers. So SU 600. So if you saw on the chart, I don't know if you noticed, 1000 is the lightest, and then it goes to the darkest at 100. So here I'm kind of using middle of the road. I've got, well, I guess towards the lighter, darker middle. So 700, 800, 600, and 500 is what I have on the go here. And I think you've seen me do this before. I need to get a white sheet so you can see better. Let's see, I didn't think to grab. It's the problem with moving your stuff around is you don't always have everything you want available. Okay, so I'm going to have a white background just so you can see better. And I'm just going to start by coloring all 4 colors, just keeping them separate. So let's go in order here. So here we'll go 500. We'll do an area of that. I'm probably making you guys seasick shaking the table because it is just a kind of a portable table. It's not a nice solid desk. It's probably shaking like crazy. So pardon my, hopefully you're not seasick easily. So there you can see we've got the darkest to the lightest. And then I've got, this is just a bottle that had, I don't even know what it had in it, but I put just some alcohol because I wanted to use the dropper. So it's the easiest way to kind of get the best of all of that. Oh, before I do that, where is my heat tool? It's plugged in, but I don't see the actual tool. Oh. Hang on. Okay. It was on the floor. Another joy of not being in the basement is I don't have a door on this room, so pardon the noise. I'm going to try and talk over the dogs. Okay, so I have my heat tool. I've got my alcohol, and I'm going to do one area at a time, just so I have better control. And I'm just going to turn it on low. I'm going to hold it a fair bit away from. So I want to move the liquid and have it dry, but not just kind of all at once, and I don't want it to necessarily mix. It can mix a little with the others, but I just want kind of a interesting look. So there's the first one. I'll do that again. You can see it's bleeding a little bit into, oops, I didn't catch. Ah. I'm holding it too close. I'm gonna have to add a bit more alcohol. But isn't that cool how the veining just kind of, wherever it dries, it creates that cool effect. I'm just gonna put a bit more here and here. And it's funny how it wants to stay within the boundaries of coloring, but nice. So that one's got a whole lot of busyness to it, but that's okay. It'll always be different. I mean, there's, I can't remember her name. There's a demonstrator that makes the most beautiful roses. She has this technique of swirling the heat gun just so that you go back and forth and it creates this beautiful rose look. I have never been able to get that look. I've tried. Probably take lots of practice. I don't know how she does it. They're always so beautiful. So anyways, you could try your hand at making more of a defined look to something, but this is just going to be one big garbledy mush of veining, but that's all that I really want anyways. So we've got a variation of color here, if you see it on the white. So I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to stamp it with Versamark. Oh, and I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, if you are watching the live, please say hello, but even if you're watching the replay, please comment, tell me you're here, where you're watching from. Love to know who all's watching and feel like I'm not all alone. Okay, so I've used Versamark with the Calming Camellia, and once again I told myself, I said take out the clear powder, and I forgot to take out the clear powder. So let's do that now. And we're just going, so if you noticed, I put the powder on the back side because otherwise you would have to make sure that your whole thing is dry very well before you do the Versamark, or you'll just get a big blob of powder. It'll just stick to the wet paper everywhere. So you want to be able to get the print. And oops, sorry, I had white in here before. Just gonna put my white back here. Here we go. Set that aside, and then we're just gonna dry this again. So that one we gotta go on to high. And maybe I'll move my alcohol so I don't start a fire or something. So you're gonna be like, why is she doing this? I can't even see anything. You will see in the next step where I'm going with this. So really right now, you can't see a thing. I don't know if you'll be able to pick up the picture if I kind of get it in the right light. You can probably see there's a bit of a picture there. Okay, so we've got that. Next up, I'm going to stamp this again, but this time with Early Espresso. And I didn't clean it in between because it's okay if it has the Versamark on it still. If I wanted to put embossing powder, that would work as well. But I'm just going to stamp it on my paper here. And you're going to see now how, like, it doesn't look like a lot of detail, but watch. It's got so much detail, like the definition of the leaves and the flowers. It just really pops. It's so pretty. So that's why it doesn't really, you know, when they put it in a catalog, it doesn't do it justice. So right now I've got my my blends that were alcohol. I can't remember. There is a name for this technique. I did it in one of my videos. Anyway, if you look up blends in my series, it'll be in there. So now I have to try and line up, but before I actually line it up, there we go, just to get an idea. So how I'm going to put this together is I actually discovered I'm going to take the adhesive sheets and I'm putting it on the non-embossed side. Just see where. Oh, maybe I went too far. This is going to hang off. Oh well, that's okay. Oh, and I don't have my gluey scissors. Shoot. So I'm gonna just put this here so I don't, hopefully I'll just pull off the glue because I don't want my machine to get all gummy. Okay, so now you're gonna be like, well, what's the point of that? Now you can't see anything. So I'm just pulling off all the adhesive. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I still have my embossed side and I'm going to peel the sticky off. So you can't even tell there's sticker on. So if you were just to put a line of adhesive, it would show. But because it is completely sticker, you don't see that. And now we're, I can't get the light to hit properly here. I have to try and line it up as close as possible just to get the look I'm going for. And then, voila, it is stuck. You can't tell there's any adhesive. You've got the nice pop of the blends design behind it. So it kind of looks like it's been colored. And then what I did was I'm just going to take this and cut it together. I know it's 2 sheets and you're not supposed to cut 2 sheets in the machine, but because it's vellum, it's thin. It's almost like having a sticker sheet behind or something. So it's not too bad. You just want to run it through several times instead of just once. So then I'm just gonna, and then however you want your flowers to be in the frame here, like so. And then we'll just run it through at least twice, but probably I'll just go 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then we've got our die cut here. And then you've got the beautiful flowers with your background, and it's all sealed together. And now I don't know if you can see, the embossing just gives it a little bit of extra dimension is all. It just makes it stand up a little more. So here's the finished project. It just has this same flowers. I've added the white frayed ribbon, which is in the mini catalog. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of faint, but I stamped happy birthday on here. This vellum is the layering vellum that's also in the mini catalog, and then just use the early espresso and pop this up on dimensionals, and there you go. So that was just to show you kind of the blends, and just a totally different possibility of using the blends other than coloring people or skin or whatever you're thinking. So that's the first one. My next one is kind of, I've seen a ton of people doing whitewash on these flowers, and there was one beautiful, I should have pulled it up. There's one lady that does beautiful watercoloring, and she had whitewashed and layered and then did more coloring on top, and the flowers were just absolutely beautiful. But I'm going to show you how to do a cheat whitewash. So it's kind of a completely reverse way of doing a whitewash. I'm starting with white paper instead of colored paper. And then I'm going to just take my Versamark again. And if I can find, I'm going to clean my flower off here, because if we're going to Versamark it, we don't want it to have color. So just make sure, because it's so detailed, it does get the ink in the little tiniest grooves. And then I'll just stamp it off to make sure it's, so you can see there's a bit of brown, but not much left. So now that it's clean, I'm just going to take my Versamark, I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to just stamp it on my paper. And then, I don't know if you guys have played with these or if you've even noticed them, I do also have a whole segment on the soft pastels. I'm going to pull out, this is a Gorgeous Grape, I believe. So I'm going to take that off. You can't really see much of anything, but it is, the Versamark's there. And I'm just going to take my pastel and I'm going to rub it over the stamped image. And you get the beautiful stamped image, and I'm just going to color the whole thing here. Okay. And then I'm going to take a Kleenex, a clean Kleenex, and I'm just going to wipe the excess chalk off. And you can see you kind of have that, kind of looks like a bit of a faux whitewash going on. And then to make it even look, sorry, I'm just going to dump this into the garbage. So don't get the, I don't know if you guys can hear the, what do you call it? Backhoe, not backhoe. They're scraping the sidewalks. Again, they did it yesterday. I'm guessing because it's so icy. Okay, so just a quick wipe of everything because the chalks are messy. So just be aware. So now, and if I start smudging with it, it's going to get all over my hands. But a good way that I found to kind of counteract that. So I'm taking the Gorgeous Grape ink and a blender brush. And I want to make this look more white and pop. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to go around and I'm going to create this darker kind of purple around it, like a shadow, just so it kind of makes it spotlight my flower more. And it makes the flower really pop. And it kind of gets that excess chalk. Just because you can't get like a really nice, well, I'm sure I could if I worked at it. But right now I don't have a really nice layer of the chalk around the flower. So this is a nice way to kind of make it look a little bit more smooth. And like I said before, it really kind of makes the flower pop, and it makes it look like kind of the flowers are whitewashed the way that the pastel sticks to the ink. So there we go. So there's our faux whitewashed flowers. That's the emboss resist. Well, it's not really emboss. Versamark resist technique. So here's the finished card. So I've added the iridescent rhinestones that are in the mini. These are like my favoriteest stones ever. And then for the background, I used the Simply Marvelous paper. So there's, what colors are there? Balmy Blue, Basic Gray, Blushing Bride, Bumblebee, Coastal Cabana, Flirty Flamingo, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, Smoky Slate, and So Saffron. So I pulled the Gorgeous Grape out, and it has the two sides. So it has kind of this marble side that I used, but it also has this really cool kind of swirly side. It was too much purple for this card, but lots you can do. So again, this paper is one of the celebration items. So one of the items you can get for free when you spend $60. And the greeting is from the Calming Camellia, You Make Me Smile. And then I used, oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of it's one of the ribbons that's in the annual catalog, and it just kind of has this cool kind of veiny, wispy look to it. So I just kind of zigzagged it back and forth to give it a little bit more pop. So that's card number 2. This next one is the real whitewash technique. So with the whitewash, you would take any colored cardstock, and then you'd want somewhat of a matching ink. You can kind of get the same effect using Versamark. It kind of gives you that watermark, but it'll, especially on something this dark, you kind of want the darker. No, I have no color on here, so I'm okay. Trying to remember what I last did. Okay, so now I've got, and I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna stamp this all around. So not only does this make a great simple single flower that stands out, but it makes for a great background stamp. I kind of did that a little too far in. That's okay. Just kind of go like this. Perfect. we're not going to see that middle part, so I'm okay with that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp a smaller one here. And I'm not gonna make you sit through whitewashing this whole thing. So I'll just do the whitewash on the smaller one, or I guess I could do it on, doesn't really matter where I do it. And so what I did is I took a clear block. You can use your Whisper White craft ink and squeeze the lid and do it in the lid, but it's thick and it's goopy, so I prefer to put it on a block. And you can stamp your pad onto the block, or what I did was I just took some of the refill and I just squirted it on. And then I'm going to take a blender pen. So you could do this with water painter as well, but when just on cardstock, then you're not getting it too wet. So it's nice to use the blender pen. And then you're just going to come in and you're going to color the flower. And it's kind of scary at first because you're like, oh my God, how am I going to see where to go? I'm going to color over something I'm not supposed to. But you can totally color over it. Watch. And at first it looks like, oh, I've lost the flower, I've lost the detail. But as you go, it pops through. So you don't have to worry too much about where you're putting it. And just so you know, I put this ink out, what day is it today? I think I put it out either on Saturday or Sunday, and I have not put more ink on there, so it's still wet from then. I will wash it off once I'm done. I knew I was going to do this and I didn't want to waste the ink. So I thought, oh, I'll just try and leave it and see what happens. And it's still nice and wet. So, you know, you can go in and you can do the leaves. You might want a bit more white for like the lighter part. And then, what's on the leaves here? The flowers. Let's see the leaf. Kind of texture. Yeah, it's kind of, if you like coloring, it's got the same kind of soothing effect as coloring does, only you're not using a color, and it is much more forgiving, and you almost feel like you don't have to know how to shade and do shadows, and it still has all of that to it once you color it, so it's kind of cool that way. You don't have to be a professional artist, color extraordinaire to make this really pop and look like you know what you're doing. Well, hopefully I have not frozen up today. I'm not seeing any comments, so hopefully it's just people are busy and not watching, and I'm not ignoring you on purpose. If you are commenting, I apologize. Like I said, if you're watching a replay, comment, let me know where you're watching from, say hi. There we go. So you've got this whitewashed kind of look. And you can do the same on these ones as well, but like I said, I'm not gonna quarter you and color the whole thing. I just wanted to show. So again, the first one that we did, I cut out with this and I forgot to show you. It's from the Hippos and Friends dies. I used the Hippos and Friends dies again because it had the perfect size. I don't even know what shape you call this. Anyways, it kind of framed the flowers perfectly. And then I just added the white, so then it really pops. But isn't that pretty? Like, it just really pops with the night. So Night of Navy is what I used. And then the Whisper White. And then I used some of those brushed brass butterflies, which are also from the mini catalog. And the Happy Birthday sentiment is from, again, one of the stamp sets out of the Celebration catalog. And I just embossed it with white embossing powder. Apparently, my paper probably wasn't quite dry. So again, you want to be careful with that because of the crafting that you're using. It won't, you got to make sure it's dry before you add your embossing powder if you're going directly on there. Otherwise, it sticks and then you get this polka dotty effect, which I probably could just do a white splatter with my brush. And actually now I'm thinking you could probably even go over it with Wink of Stella if you wanted to kind of give it some shine. Let's try that actually. If I can find my, oh, that's an old one. Here, I think this one is a good one. Let's see, we'll do it on this one just to see what happens. Oh yeah, so it keeps the white, but it adds, because as you know, you can, the Wink of Stella brush is kind of like a paint brush. You can kind of use it the same way that you would use your water painters. And usually it drags, if you're coloring, it drags the color around. So I'm assuming it'll kind of spread out the white as well, a little bit. So let's see, I don't know if you can see that, but it adds like a nice little sparkle to it. So you could add that too to your whitewash and give it even more pizzazz. But yeah, so those are my 3 projects for today. I will post them later on. I also post them into my YouTube channel. The video will be on there. So if you've got friends who don't necessarily do Facebook, you can always send them to the YouTube channel. I usually post the link in a few days once I get it up there. And I also just wanted to make sure if you were wanting the Safari Celebration Paper Pumpkin, today is your last, well, I guess February 10th is technically the last day that you can subscribe for it, and then they get shipped out. So if you've got, I think it's a cutesy safari celebration, so it looks like something great for kids, or if you have grandkids, or I have no idea what it actually looks like, but it looks like fun. So I just thought I'd mention that. I don't know what next month's is, but I probably will find out tomorrow or Friday, and I'll post that one as well. So yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your week and next weekend, and we will hopefully catch you again next Wednesday. Bye.